You wake up one morning to your phone blowing up. You open it to see thousands of notifications from various social media platforms. It's every platform that you're on, all blowing up at the same time. It's strange, but you check anyway, only to find that they're all talking about the same thing. A picture of a man with an abnormally long neck is being shared around the world on every social media platform simultaneously. People are going insane. Everyone seems to be talking about it, and everyone seems to have a different idea about who this person is. But regardless, you see a few comments among the sea of blue that point out some very concerning things. If this man looks familiar, you've probably seen him in another video. People start bringing up videos from years ago that seemingly came out of nowhere. But what does it mean? What's the significance? And what should you do? You could ignore it and hope it goes away, or you could dive deep into the rabbit hole of the internet and see exactly what's going on. So what would happen if someone posted the scariest SCP of all time on social media? This is what would happen if the picture of SCP-096 was posted all over the internet. SCP-096 is not a new anomaly, but it is one of the most terrifying. The first sighting of this humanoid creature happened in the 1900s, where there were reports of a tall man with an unnaturally long neck spotted in the United States, mostly in South Dakota and North Dakota. However, no one paid any attention to these sightings, assuming that it was just a hoax or some sort of publicity stunt. But when more and more sightings started to appear, people began to get scared. The Foundation eventually caught wind of the situation and began investigating, which led to the recovery of the creature, which is now held in a high-security facility for anomalous beings. The reason that SCP-096 is so scary is because its face cannot be shown to humans. If anyone were to look into its eyes, they would go insane. It has a 12-meter containment cell in a secure facility where it is kept safely out of reach from the human eye. Now, normally, this would be enough to keep SCP-96 out of the public eye. After all, it is extremely unlikely that someone would stumble upon a secret facility that contains all sorts of dangerous anomalies. But we live in a time where leaks happen all the time. There are bound to be people that know about SCP-096. But even if there aren't any leaks, people can still find ways to sneak into the facility and capture footage on their own. There are plenty of videos online of people sneaking around secure facilities trying to catch a glimpse of one of the anomalies inside. It's entirely possible that someone could sneak into SCP-096's containment cell. All it takes is one slip up by a guard, one moment of hesitation while trying to stop someone who's determined to get in. And once they see SCP-096, they'll want to share it with the world, even though they shouldn't. Let's say that somehow a picture of SCP-096 was posted on social media. The internet would immediately begin to freak out. People would try to identify the man in the photo, but they wouldn't be able to because he doesn't have a name. There isn't any record of his existence before the first sightings in the 1900s. No one knows who he is. But something about his elongated neck seems familiar. They try to search for answers. But they don't find any, because the Foundation would be working hard to cover up the situation. They'd send out agents to take down the post and find the person that uploaded it. But the longer this goes on, the more difficult it becomes. Since the photo has already been shared, there's no telling how far it's gone. By the time the Foundation finds the original source of the leak, it might be too late. People would notice something very disturbing about the image. When they tried to take a closer look, they realized that there was something wrong with SCP-096's face. It seemed distorted and unnatural. Then they saw it. One of its eyes was looking directly at them. Even if it wasn't intentional, SCP-096's eye would stare directly into the soul of anyone who looked upon it. It was impossible to look away, no matter how hard they tried. Their eyes locked, and the more they stared, the more they felt themselves being drawn into the abyss of madness. Suddenly, they heard a voice whispering in their head, telling them to come closer to get a better look. But the scariest part was that the voice sounded like their own. It was tempting, but they knew they had to resist. They closed their eyes, trying to block out the image, but it was no use. SCP-096's face was burned into their retinas, and there was no escape. They tried to tear their eyes away, but it was too late. It stared too long, and now they were under the control of the creature. The internet would explode with conspiracy theories. So people would claim that it was just a man in a suit, while others would argue that it was proof of extraterrestrial life. But as more and more people fell under SCP-096's gaze, it became clear that there was something sinister at play. The SCP Foundation would scramble to contain the situation. They would send out agents to track down those who had seen the image and bring them back to a secure facility. But it was a losing battle. SCP-096's influence was spreading like wildfire, and there was no way to stop it. Those who had been exposed to the image began to exhibit strange behavior. At first it was subtle, just a change in their demeanor, but soon it became more apparent. They were no longer in control. SCP-096's presence had taken over, and they were becoming the creature's vessel. As the infection spread, so did the panic. People were running around the city, hiding from the very sight of daylight. They were afraid that the sun would trigger SCP-096's power and drive them insane. But it was too late. The damage had already been done. SCP-096's influence was growing stronger by the second, and it wasn't long before the entire city was under its control. SCP Foundation's last hope was to upload a counter-image to the internet, something that would break SCP-096's hold and bring the infected back to normal. But they were running out of time. With each passing moment, SCP-096's grip on the city grew stronger, and the chances of a counter-image working became slimmer and slimmer. As the city descended into chaos, the Foundation knew that their only option was to deploy a special task force to track down SCP-096 and put an end to it once and for all. But even that might not be enough. SCP-096 was a powerful creature, and it would stop at nothing to protect itself. If SCP-096's picture was posted on social media, it would cause widespread panic and chaos. The SCP Foundation would have to deploy all of its resources to contain the creature and prevent it from causing any further harm. But in the end, it might not be enough. SCP-096 was a force to be reckoned with, and it would take everything the Foundation had to stop it. The question is, are you brave enough to face it? So what do you think? How would you react if you saw the picture of SCP-096? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.